Welcome to ECO Ask Why, a podcast that dives into industrial manufacturing topics and spotlights the heroes that keep America running. I'm your host, Chris Granger, and on this podcast, we do not cover the latest features and benefits on products that come to market. Instead, we focus on advice and insight from the top minds of industry because people and ideas will be how America remains number one in manufacturing in the world. Welcome to ECO Ask Why. I'm your host, Chris Granger. Looking forward to hanging out with you today. We have made it to the month of April in 2025. The spring is here. The weather's turning warmer. Can I get an amen on that? And it's just, what a great time to be here. So excited to hang out with you all today. So we're continuing our march through smart manufacturing. We spent a lot of time so far in earlier episodes of ECO Ask Why, talk about why you should even care. You know, what is modernization? What is it all about? What are some of the benefits of modernization? And understanding there's a global footprint. We start thinking about smart manufacturing that impacts so much. And at ECO, we're at the heart of that. Then we spent a lot of time talking about Ethernet and why Ethernet is becoming the automation and control network. We went through a lot of benefits, pros and cons, the basics of Ethernet, how you select it, how you make those selections. Spent a lot of time there. So hopefully you're enjoying this journey so far. And that's really what we're trying to do. We're trying to walk with you through a journey. And speaking of journeys, I don't know if any of you enjoy going to the mountains. So we're an electrical equipment company. We're on the East Coast, obviously. So we're close to the Appalachian Trail. I love going to the mountains. I love hiking. Anytime we get outside, elevation change, it's always a good time. And it's funny, if you've ever been on a mountain hike, and maybe you're on an ascent, right? You're climbing up, and you reach this point where things maybe flatten out for a little bit, and you feel like, man, you finally make it. I'm there. And then you just realize just a little bit further up the trail, oh no, it turns back up again. I have funny stories of doing mountain runs and things like that, where the people that I'm with, and next thing you know, we think that they were ready for a mountain run, and come to find out they weren't, because it keeps going. And sometimes what that really is, when you reach that level place, it can be termed a false summit. Okay. And this exists in manufacturing. Okay. And it can be discouraging. Like for those runners and mountain hikers, when you reach that false summit, it can be like, man, I get so frustrated. I'm so tired. I'm so frustrated. Like, I don't want to keep going. And maybe that's where you're at right now with your smart manufacturing journey. I'm just tired. Nothing seems to be working, and I don't want to keep going. And I'm just here to tell you, when you start factoring in this high level of automation that's involved, and the complexities that could be there, it can be frustrating. But look, we want to encourage you. Digital transformation is possible. It lies ahead. And you're going to be able to conquer the summit of smart manufacturing when you do it one step at a time. And what we're going to be talking about today is the idea of progression. Okay, progression. Again, you're never going to win a marathon with just one step, but you will get there one step at a time, right? That's the way smart manufacturing works. It's a journey. It really is a journey. And if we recognize the promise of smart manufacturing, and we know that it's going to require some significant change, maybe considering your network connectivity, to the way that you're managing data, to the way that your processes are ultimately being optimized, we have to stay the course. Okay, it's not a single sweeping overhaul. Again, you can't run that marathon right at the gate, but one step after the other. I remember when I ran I've ran one marathon. I've done a half marathon as well. And they tell you, when you're running a marathon, don't think about mile 26. Like, you can't think about that. It's too big, hairy, audacious. No, don't do that. Think about the next mile. Okay, I just ran one. I can run one more. And then you keep that mindset. And the next thing you know, you completed 26 miles. That's the way this is with smart manufacturing. It's a progressive journey, but small, intentional steps will help you work towards that long-term transformation. That really what we're all about. There's even a quote out there from Jim Davis at UCLA. He said, many possibilities that have already been considered cost prohibitive now become doable Progression enables manufacturers to grow into using big data for new operational insights. And what a beautiful quote, and how salient that is for us as we're trying to move forward. We're trying to encourage you down your own journey of smart manufacturing. Okay. Now, today we're going to talk about how we actually get started with that progression. And this is going to be super practical. It's going to be very easy to take this concept and bring it into your manufacturing facility. So we hope this is encouraging, because really what we're going to be diving into is the role of smart devices. Okay. Because the first step in a smart manufacturing progression is you have to have a solid connectivity framework. And the smart devices are the backbone of that. And we need to know, first of all, when I say smart device, what the heck is a smart device, right? I need to get that defined, because we're going beyond its basic function. No, we actually, with smart devices, want to start incorporating and bringing in data and diagnostics that can drive real-time decision making. So a couple things to consider when you think about a smart device. It's better communicate data. Like, I need to know how long it's been running, what the temperatures are, the pressures, the voltages, the currents, the imbalances. We want to know all that, right? It also needs to be able to integrate with your network. Usually, again, we're big on Ethernet IP, but there's other industrial protocols as well. It should also, a smart device, enhance some system reliability and process performance. You have all this information there. It should make things better. And it should also provide predictive insights. Now, this is going to be big for your maintenance and optimization teams, okay? So they need to be able to see, based off the data that the device is providing, here's action I need to consider. Now, again, as we work through this and we're starting walking through this topic with you, if these things come to mind you need help with, ECO has the team. We have the experts on staff. We've got the manufacturers. We have the integrators. We have all the different pieces that you need to start your smart device integration into your facility. Okay, but with our product management, our solution architecture teams, the right devices is crucial, but it can be tricky. So we want to be there to help you. Okay, so now let's start talking about the roadmap, because again, every journey starts with that first step, and really so much begins with standardization, and that standardization needs to be around your connectivity and your infrastructure. Okay, so you need to understand first and foremost, what are your network standards? What are they? And I'm talking about at the field level for devices, the control level for your PLCs, all the way up to your enterprise level. You got to get all this right. Like, if you don't have that, everything coordinated there, it's going to be very difficult. They need to get very locked in on those communication protocols. This is going to help you with seamless data flow. So it could be Ethernet, it could be Profinet, it could be other types of communication protocols, but get centered on what that is. And then we need to be very attuned to smart device specifications, because this is going to ensure compatibility and long-term scalability. So we can't just be pulling stuff over here one day and then over here the next day. No, let's get really clear on what our device specifications are. Again, if you need help with this, with standards or future-proofing a foundation, this is where we can come in. All right, now the second phase is you have to actually start the implementation of the smart devices. So it's so tempting at times to where, you know what, I'm just going to rip it all out. Let's just redo it. And there are times where we help end users do that directly. But a better strategy usually is when I go back to a conversation I had with earlier, ECO asked why. And the guest said, you know what, Chris, a great strategy when moving forward with automation and smart manufacturing is to think big and act small. And that stuck with me. That was huge. So start with a single line, a single machine, or like a process cell, and use that as your test bed. Now, we did this back at ECO years ago when I was in the motor reliability game, and this is how we would work with end users. We would start define it on a certain group of equipment. And then once you get that defined, what data do you need to pull from that? What do you need to actually pull from that to make better decisions? Okay, so if you get locked in there, and then as you prove this out, start scaling those insights across different systems. Because you don't want to do a plant right out the gate. What you're trying to do is you're trying to build some advocates. You're trying to build some wins. You're also trying to build some confidence. So this is a great strategy when moving forward, is to phase this implementation. Prove it to yourself. And again, if you need help, we have labs at Electrical Equipment Company where you can come in directly. You can sit down with our product teams, our experts, and you can put your hands directly on the equipment, the technology that you want to implement, so that you're not having to figure it out on your plant floor. You're figuring it out in our lab where it's a safe environment. You know, if something crashes in the lab and you make an error, it's okay. It's in the lab. No product has been lost, right? This is really why we built these, is to give you a test place to prove this out. Now, the third area, and this is where I see lots of manufacturers somewhat struggle, but if you can get this, man, it's so huge. It's taking the data and transforming that into actionable insights. Because raw data is really just raw data. But it's only valuable when it leads to meaningful decisions. You know, the scale can tell me one thing when I step on it in the mornings. Now, what am I going to do with that information leads to the decisions later on. Do I eat the Oreos or do I not eat the Oreos? But anyway, we know we're going to eat Oreos. But you know what I'm saying? Smart manufacturing is the same way. So when you start with the data, you got to organize it. You got to get standardized. Because you're not going to be able to utilize the data in a really meaningful way until you have everything locked into a standard format. And then you need to have some type of way to monitor data and start having the mechanisms in place for alerts. That's when things start ramping up. And then you have to have analytic tools. There's lots of different analytic tools out there that brings everything to get together in a central hub that will help you make better decisions from your MES systems and on down. Okay. So really that data for data's sake is one thing, but actually having data and thinking about, okay, how can I use this to make better decisions? This comes down to like smart device planning as well. It's tempting when you're evaluating a device to look at all the features and just get, you know what, man, this is awesome. But I want to caution you. Think through the features, because features and benefits are great only if you can utilize them and they make things better for you. So based on your application, what are the features that this particular smart device offers that's going to give you the insight and the intel that you need to make better decisions? The rest could just be the cherry on top, and some of it, quite frankly, could just be distractions. We don't want data just for data's sake. No, we want to pull in the data that is most salient to make the best decisions. And again, inside of a lab is a great place to do this. Okay. So when we start thinking about smart devices, think about areas like variable frequency drives. Obviously, that's a smart device. You're changing the speed up and down, and you're trying to get maybe real-time energy data back, predictive insights back. You also have motor overload relays. Huge area of smart device technology. These protect ultimately the motor from overheating, right? And what they can do is they can measure that temperature, they can measure current, they can give you diagnostics to help prevent future failures. Then you have in the technology now, you have power meters, which are measuring that energy consumption, and that helps you if you understand how the energy is being used. You'll be able to make better energy decisions, okay? And cost reduction type strategies. Then you have temperature and pressure type sensors. They're measuring and monitoring critical process conditions. And again, this is if you want to start adjusting and fine-tuning your system, you need to get this data. Then ultimately you have HMIs, human machine interfaces, right? So this is giving you that display back, that machine feedback back. Okay, here's what's happening. So to help you maybe remotely monitor or make real-time troubleshooting of the equipment that you have. So again, there's lots and lots of other types of smart devices out there, but that just gives you a taste of what to expect. So when we say smart devices, what are we diving into? Right there. Okay. Now, there's, again, kind of going back to the fall summit where we began, right? Because when you get to that fall summit, man, you have a decision to make. Do you just turn around and go back, or do you move forward? And the fall summit is where many people get stuck, okay? And you may be a manufacturer out there right now, working inside a manufacturer, that you feel stalled, and your progression is just not happening. Maybe you didn't standardize your network. and you have all these different types of communication protocols going on out there, and guess what? They don't all talk to each other. You get frustrated. Or maybe you try to just bite off a little bit more than you can chew. I get it. I'm the type of guy, I like to do so much up front too. So, but sometimes if we bite off so much at the beginning, we can't actually move any of it. Or maybe you don't have a plan for actually utilizing the data. I've actually seen smart MCCs be installed, and the blue Ethernet cable that brings the data into the network has never been plugged in because they don't have any plan for it. They have no way to utilize the data. I'm like, you have so much potential data right there that could help you. But if they're not ready, they're not ready. Or maybe you're not thinking scalable, okay? Because you're just implementing, you're bringing in products and new devices without a roadmap. Now, all these things happen, okay? All these things happen. We want to help you. So what we want to do is help you future-proof, prepare for the next evolution, because as technology keeps evolving, as AI gets introduced to the plant floor and all these different types of technologies start really ramping up manufacturing, you got to be ahead. You got to be ahead. And progression-based smart manufacturing is this great system to start adopting evolving technology and prove it to yourself, build that confidence as you move forward. So here's the 3 things to think about so far as the next wave of smart device adoption. Again, the big one, Ethernet IP standardization. We harp on this a lot, but new devices need to be able to seamlessly connect with industrial networks. Now, we like Ethernet IP, but maybe there's another network protocol that you like, but get locked in there. Then also be thinking about, you'll see this more and more in manufacturing, mobile integration and real-time access. So how those devices can you enable plant floor data to be accessed directly by your user's smartphone and tablets? I'm telling you, this type of technology is out there. It's real. And the quicker and that you can create an environment that engages the users in technology that they're already using, you're winning. And the third element we're not going to spend a ton of time on, but it's worth mentioning, is AI. And prevent downtime. The technology's out there, it's evolving, and I'm telling you, the quicker that we lean into it and we start learning how to utilize this, the faster we're going to have our progression really take off and make some big impacts. Okay, so we're here for you. Again, this is not a one-time upgrade. This is a continuous journey. This is a marathon, if you will, kind of going back to earlier. We want to help you make decisions with better devices, better strategies, and better, ultimately, just your overall decision-making process. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, or maybe you feel like you've reached a false summit and you're like, I'm done, just relax. We're here. Again, start thinking about that foundational network. Start thinking how you can implement some of these smart devices incrementally. And then turn that data into actionable insights. And as you do that, it will start scaling. It's just going to take time. So at ECO, again, we're here to help you take intentional, practical steps towards smarter operations. And we want to do this while reducing the complexity. We're not going to bring a bunch of features and benefits to you that are not going to help you. So if you need guidance here to accelerate your smart manufacturing journey, again, our solution architecture team and product manager teams are ready. They're willing. They're experts. They're the top of their craft of what they do. And we're ready to come in to help you build that roadmap one step at a time. So hopefully you're enjoying this journey through smart manufacturing. Again, we have lots of resources at Eco Online. So go check out our website at ecoonline.com. And also highly encourage you, if you haven't done it yet, get your online account set up. We've got some systems. We've built some really great tools to help you in the moment when you need it most. Maybe you don't always have time to call a distributor. Totally get it. We want to put this stuff in front of you. So at your fingertips, when you need it, 2:00 in the morning, you'll be able to find the information that's going to help you be successful. And as you work through this progression, through this smart manufacturing journey, you're going to need resources, partners like ECO to come along beside you to ultimately be successful. So thank you so much for listening. If you wouldn't mind, give us a rating and review. That would be wonderful for the show. Share this out with others, particularly those in the manufacturing field. We want to get this information out there to just encourage, equip, just come alongside others. Again, feel free. Check out the links in this episode. We're going to have links so you can schedule time to visit one of our labs. Maybe you want to come to a lab and actually put your hands on some technology. We have these labs in Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina. So we have labs all over that are ready for you to just come right in. I'm telling you, these labs are awesome. The technology is incredible. So you can actually dig deep. You can the experts will be there. Get your questions answered in real time. Right, you don't have to go to a certain class or anything. Of course, we want you to go to these classes, but you can come here and directly work on your applications with our teams. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here to help. So again, thank you so much for listening. Follow us on LinkedIn. We have our YouTube channel. We have lots of ways we try to serve. So reach out to us, connect with us, and let us know how we can connect and help you. All right. So have a great day. Thank you so much for listening, and remember to keep asking why. Thank you for listening to EECO Asks Why. This show is supported ad-free by Electrical Equipment Company. EECO is redefining the expectations of an electrical distributor by placing people and ideas before products. Please subscribe and share with your colleagues and friends. Also, leave comments, feedback, and any new topics that you would like to hear. To learn more or to share your insights, visit eecosky.com. That's EECOASKSWHY.com.